Hello and welcome to the next video in the series on resource file building with me, your host, Andy Woolley. In this video we're going to look at organic terms, specifically searching on Google to see the main keyword we're looking for and related keywords. Now, over the years there's been many expressions like LSI, latent semantic indexing, and semantics and entities. There's always a fresh buzzword within SEO and digital marketing, but don't let that confuse you. Common sense always prevails. Okay, so you have a keyword, you're talking about, say, paper, then the next sort of related keyword to that would be a pen or pencil. We already know there's a relationship there. So within this video now, we're going to identify keywords and their relatable terms, be that some of the modifiers that will be shown to us within the video, but ultimately we'll discover some of the known keywords and lesser known keywords that will help reinforce our niche. So join me in this video as we look at organic terms. Here now we're going to start looking at our organic terms. Clicking on the menu, we jump to the next work tab here, the organic terms. Now we already know some of the terms that we're after because we've just done it in the previous section, the known keywords. We jump back to home. We copy those 5 there, and there could obviously be more as you add them. This isn't by no means where we're looking for our golden keywords. We are simply just populating it with the most obvious terms, and we will go through this journey, discover what they are, and right when we get to the end, the recommendations, then we will be identifying our most popular keywords. That's by weighing and measuring a marketing term. Okay, so jumping back into the organic terms there, I'll just paste it. And what I'm looking for now is literally taking each one of these as the header at the top. Make sure the header stays the same. And we are going to run these through on Google just to see basically how relevant they are and what relatable terms there are regarding it. And that allows us then to start discovering other ways that we could be searching for our particular chosen keywords. So let me just quickly do this, pop them into each one of the headings. Again, you can exponentially increase these going forward. So if I take that now, data storytelling, that's the first one. Jump over onto Google. Let's type it into Google and see what we've got. Now, you can see it's quite favorable. It's always nice to see some adverts at the top because that shows that it must be a popular enough term that people care enough about it, they want to pay money for it. You can also see there are some images there as well, which lead us into more information. There's obviously a rich snippet there with a short answer that people also ask here underneath. There are other areas that have been pulled out as featured snippets as well. Then we've got the organic listings and we've got videos. And then we got relatable searches there with obviously books, which really do complement this particular topic. And then we've got all the modifiers at the bottom. So you can see it's a very busy keyword. It's obviously delivering a lot of knowledge there in many different ways. Now, you can see the modifiers down here built around the main keyword we've chosen, which are obviously either suffix or a pre-index to that particular keyword, and therefore allow you to see many different ways to describe that chosen keyword. Now, I don't type these out. I use a clever little tool called Keywords Everywhere. I'll just switch it on here, which is simple enough. For those of you who don't have it, it is simply a case of use the 3 dots, go into your Chrome store, which is under your extensions, more tools, extensions, choose the hamburger menu, down to the Chrome store, type it in there, Keywords Everywhere, and hey presto, there it is. Brilliant little tool. It's a freemium tool. I use the free version. You can pay for it to get credits, but there's actually no rhyme and reason, to be honest. You will need to get an API to make it work and link it back to your chosen email. That's just to make sure it works, and then select the appropriate country. In my particular case, that's the United Kingdom. What will happen then is that as soon as we put in our chosen term within the search query, it will give in this right hand side, it will give the modifiers at the bottom, which tend to be anywhere between 8 or 10. And then it will also give the related terms as well, which tend to be all your long tail keywords. If I just refresh here, that will kick in, as you can see. It gives you the frequency of how popular that term has become over the last couple of years, which it has. There's the keywords that were at the bottom of this page. I can simply click and export those. I can get a lot more metrics if I'm prepared to pay credits. So obviously it will give me the search volume, the keyword difficulty, and how popular it is. But to be honest, we're not really needing that for our journey here. We can get all that through SEMrush. And then I also take the second one. Now, what you will notice is that sometimes the first few here in the second column are repeated from the first. But what I've come to realize is that sometimes this is not always mirrored exactly. So I'd rather play due diligence, bring it all into Excel, and then we can do our sifting from there. So having brought those down, let's open them up. And we're copying them across, copy back into our original file, and we just drop them under the main term. And now we've got exactly what is building our silo here, our subcategories here, which now can become our clusters. And again, the same principles apply to the known keywords. There will be some of these that will probably not be relevant, but the beauty is we are trying not to drop the ball. We're trying to get all the gaps filled and then use the filtering to find exactly what we're after. So jumping back in there now, let's grab the second one and select the first column, hold down Shift, come to the bottom and click. And straight away there I could see Tabular, which is a piece of software specifically designed for data mining. Again, whether that's relevant or not, it could be, and it might be something we talk about. Double click, so it brings the column flush, and already now we have lots of potential terms in there we could use in order to build out our silos. And now we do the same for the following. So now we're looking for storytelling the data, jump back into Google. Let me close that one, and let's do these ones, refresh. And I'm not bothered by reading what the content is on there. I already know that my 5 terms alone are quite strong. And this is why I kind of say to clients, just give me a handful of keywords that you know are relevant and we'll build it up from there. Because on this natural journey of discovery, you're going to find so many keyword terms, you will fill in those blanks of what the client or your own particular brand you weren't aware of. And then you suddenly start answering all the ways that people come to your particular brand in order to answer that query. And this is then how we can go off further on down the road and start presenting information then for content writing, which we will do later on. So now we've got all these, drop that all in there. If you want to speed through the video, please do. I'm literally just going to repeat this now for the remaining terms. Again, this page is built with a number of organic terms, but if you feel it needs more, please do. I mean, I have done hundreds of these, even in one file, to give me as much context as possible, depending on the size of the brand I'm actually looking into. So there's no right or wrong. You can do quite small and then put this principle into play, or you can do hundreds of them, as I have for global brands, and you literally building up all their silos. So I'm just speed through this. I'm going to speed up the video just to go through this. Save you waiting for me. But hopefully you're doing this in tandem as well. And I think that's probably the good thing sometimes, is be talking while you're doing it as well. You can see by repetition, it is quite laborious. But for me, I tend to listen to a little bit of music that gets me in the zone. And I quite enjoy knowing that I'm building one resource file that's going to deliver all that valuable insight from the various places on the internet where we can acquire the information. And then lo and behold, we have got a blueprint to really start building out our content and then ranking over time. So nearly there. I'll close some boxes down as we go. So ID, surprising how it builds up. You might notice there's an intermittent picture there. That's my daughter and my eldest dog, Poppy and Kimberly. Right, okay. The last one, nearly there. And again, some will give more and some will give less. Ultimately, they're all looking for little tangents of information and the ability to rank for more and more terms. Ultimately, what you're building here is a keyword pyramid where the best keywords are right at the top, to the body keywords in the middle, to the long tail keywords at the bottom, which is obviously how pyramid is built. There's always more at the bottom, but in doing so, the thicker and the wider that pyramid becomes, the more keywords you rank for, the more terms that you can be found for, and therefore the likes of things like Wikipedia, Amazon, eBay, they rank for millions of keywords because they understand that principle. And we save it, and as simple as that. That's as far as we're going to go. Everything else now is about accumulating information for this blue section, ready for when we get to the next part where we start reviewing for the implementation. Join me in the next video.